There is a zombie on the road who is stuck in a tree branch, and our hero's car is driving towards him. The car hits the dead man, and his remains are spread in small pieces all over the highway. The man sings and laughs as he knocks over another zombie, clearly enjoying the process. The main character tuts and asks him to calm down and let him sleep so that they will be killed later. It's boring on the road, and the man has to entertain himself. The car is durable, and such blows will not harm it. Brandon freaks out because he doesn't understand that Patrick is just asking him to stop. The man stops the car and receives a disapproving response that they asked him to stop singing. Patrick begins to yell at the whole car in hysterics because it has run out of fuel. The main character is completely angry because they drove halfway and he never thought about refueling. The situation is worsened by the fact that they are not nearby while the man is eating enough to die full. Brandon tells him to get out of the car and distract all the zombies to himself. Vanessa howls in fear as a zombie's face crashes into the window of her seat, wanting to eat her. Zombies begin to surround their car at such a rate they could die on the spot. Brandon notices that in the seat pocket there is a huge knife, like a machete in a sheath. Without hesitation, the guy opens the car door with his foot and pushes the zombie standing nearby. A zombie attacks him, and Brandon pompously and with a clank takes out the weapon from its case. Little Vanessa watches as Brandon cuts the zombie's head, and blood splashes onto the window. He notices that a plump woman, who has turned into a zombie, is creeping up behind him. Brandon shouts that an ordinary knife cannot kill such a fat zombie and plunges his own into its head. But on the other hand, two more dead animals are running towards him, and he immediately pays attention to them. Pushing the rotten body away with his foot, he cuts through its head in one sharp movement. Immediately after this, he swings and pierces the head of the zombie under his feet. Patrick, watching this, is inspired. For him, it was bold and very cool. Brandon asks the fat guy to leave quickly but receives tearful cries that he is afraid to leave. He yells at him to calm down because if Patrick sits in the car, he will die sooner or later. While they were driving, there were a bunch of cars parked on the side of the road, and if they were lucky, they would find fuel in them. Brandon says he will clear the road while Patrick pumps gas. The guy hopes that he knows how to drain gasoline because he was chatting about cars all the way and receives a positive answer. The main character tells little Vanessa that she should stay in the car, and she agrees. Patrick says he's not mentally prepared, but the guy snaps that he just needs to prepare a few bottles, even if there is still soda in the bottles. The fat guy will just have to pour it out. Decisively, the guy has already begun to clear the road, killing the climbing zombies. Patrick regrets that he didn't intimidate them back in the store, but who knew that this would happen? The man calls out to the guy, to which he receives an angry question from Brandon about why he is standing still. He says that he suddenly remembered that there is a spare tank in the car. Brandon thinks that Patrick needs to make the most of the unusual. The hero made an angry grimace, realizing that all his work was in vain. Patrick apologizes and says that there was no need to scare him so much because he forgot about it due to shock. He opens the trunk and asks to wait, saying that he will do everything now, but Brandon doesn't let him start because he suggests doing something else and refueling later. The guy showing his fist says that he wants Patrick to collect something for him and shows the green ball. These black beads are hidden in the brains of zombies, and Brandon needs a man to help collect them all. Patrick makes a sound of incomprehension, to which the guy demonstrates how to do it correctly. He shows the ball to Patrick, making sure he understands exactly how it's done. Patrick tries to get away, saying that this is disgusting and that he would rather sit in the car. But Brandon, using convincing threats, famously forces the man to help him. The guy kills, and Patrick gets. But if Brandon notices that he is slacking, the next one he will kill will be Patrick himself. Patrick hesitantly looks at the stricken zombie, realizing that he must commit a crime. He's already sick because zombies are disgusting, and he'll also have to delve into their brains. Anguished, Patrick shouts that even though he is fat, zombies will still bite him, so let Brandon protect him. Snarling and continuing to defend himself, the guy responds by saying that he talks too much. Patrick, afraid that the zombies will move, carefully approaches and is impressed that the guy made a precise cut, breaking a zombie's head with a shovel. The fat man is surprised that their skull is so fragile. It's surprising because when he opens the head, he actually finds a black bead there. He looks at the green glow in them and compares them to a pearl in a shell. Excitedly, he asks Brandon if this thing is worth a lot of money, but is told to shut up and work. Patrick decides that this is what turns people into zombies and plans to keep one for himself. Having cut everyone off, Brandon decides to rest because those remaining are too far away and there is no point in attracting their attention. He says that he has almost gotten used to his previous body, but it is not enough. It is too slow. Having looked at Patrick's accumulation, he asks how many beads he has already collected. Joyful, he holds the impressive handful in his hands, saying what a good harvest it is. The fat man shows the result of this difficult business, and Brandon tells him to wash them and put them somewhere. Everything is going well because all that remains is to fill the tank, and they will continue on their way. During this time, Vanessa developed a fever again and passed out in the car seat. Opening the door slightly, Brandon saw her condition and, frightened, rushed to see what had happened. Touching her forehead, he realized that the situation was worse than last time, and something had to be done. Deciding that Vanessa should have taken her medications with her, he began rummaging through her purse. Having found what she needed, Brandon gave her a pill and, holding a bottle in his hands, helped her wash it down with water. Patrick noticed something was wrong and decided that she had heat stroke. Then the guy snapped and told him to mind his own business. He finished refueling the car and got behind the wheel, wondering about the girl's well-being because it was very hot today and she had been sitting in the car for a long time. But in response to the question, his own mask began to rapidly approach his face. Brandon says that this is all happening because Patrick lied about the availability of fuel and detained everyone. But if something happens to Vanessa, Brandon will cut him into small pieces. Patrick is scared and asks for mercy, saying that he will drive well and won't do it again. The main character remains in the back seat next to the baby, and they hit the road again. Patrick, saying that the boy is good with a machete, finally got around to asking his name. But Brandon replies that if he wants to meet someone, first he needs to introduce himself. Enough, he replies that his name is Patrick Merson, and he is the manager of a local auto repair shop. This car was left at the auto repair shop by a friend, but he never returned, so it now belongs to him. Brandon was just about to introduce himself when suddenly the car breaks down and interrupts him. By inertia, the guy is thrown forward across the cabin. He only manages to lean on the machete in his hands. Brandon gets angry and yells that he decided to brake sharply again. He wants to die or something. But such a maneuver was carried out because of the fire ahead. The path to the market was blocked by burning cars.